Welcome to a guide to new mods on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. It is Tuesday the 22nd of October. The class DLC has dropped and this is a bit of a mod catch-up. I was off to Poland on Friday for the 5th tournament in the Farming Simulator League with Giants. I did some class videos. I didn't get a chance to do the mods for Friday the 18th, and I didn't get back till late-ish yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to do the mods for the 21st. So this is a kind of roundup of mods from the 18th and the 21st. I haven't done, there were a couple that came out Thursday which I haven't managed to wrap up in this. But anyway, I'm going to get straight on because we've got quite a lot to get through. The first is an update. I don't always do updates, but this is Billboards by Stoneway Design. And when the Billboard mod first came out, it was this here. So you could show the whole world you were a John Deere fan, your farm ran John Deere, and all was wonderful in the world. Well, they've done an update, and they've added in quite a few. So if you're... I mean, it might be that you decide that the store on your map, you want it to be a particular brand predominantly. So now not only have we got these wooden billboards, the sort of things you would have outside the farm you've built yourself, you've got these rather fancy ones here with lighting that stand on taller poles. So we've got the John Deere set, we've now got a case set, there's a big Bud set, a New Holland set, a Massey Ferguson set, and a Fendt set. So yeah, pretty good additions to that. I just thought I'd add them in, and like I say, at night the lights come in on those and light the billboards up. But that's a bit of an update there from Stoneway Design. I think they're 500 each, I'm pretty sure, and these are under, I think they were decoration. There we go. Yeah, 500 each, and I think they're only one slot. I'm just going to check on my thing. Yeah, one slot each to place. So it might just be you just fancy, you know, like I say, showing the world your allegiance, possibly. So there you go. That's the Billboards by Stoneway Design. An update on those. Next, we've got the Tyrolean Farm Buildings by Suedtirolerbauer, who did the Tyrolean Alps map. And these are a lot of the buildings from the Tyrolean Alps map. Now, it does say, and there's a bit of a proviso on this, it does say that some of these will require some terrain adjustment for them to work properly. Now on console, I've been trying, and I've hit a bit of a brick wall. I'm struggling a little bit with that. I'll explain why in a minute, and there's quite a few buildings in this pack. So what we'll do, again, we'll go down. I think a lot of them are under sheds. There is one under farmhouses. So from that pack, we've got the farmhouse for 180,000. The rest, I think, are under sheds. And if we scroll across, we have got the farm barn, and that's a hay and straw storage barn. It will take 250,000 litres of hay or straw, and that's the one I'm having a problem with, and I'll show that in just a second. The next one is a farm barn for 110,000. That's just decorative, it doesn't store anything. We've then got a farm garage for 15,000. We've got a farm garage 2, farm garage 3, farm garage 4, farm garage 5. And that's all the stuff that comes in that pack. So what we'll do is very quickly, this one's the farmhouse, and if you haven't looked on, if you haven't been on Tyrolean Alps, I did a map tour on it. You might not have even seen it or looked on it. Quite a lot of detail. Sort of massive toilets, if I recall correctly. Yeah, slightly out of scale, I think, to the rest of it. If we go up the stairs and turn to our left and press L3, that's where we can sleep through the night if you choose to do so. There's a balcony out on the side just here with a couple of deck chairs. I don't know if you can see for the night there as well. Yeah, you can pretty much. And then downstairs we've got a kitchen, and it's a little bit narrow in places. Sort of kitchen, dining room, chill out room, you know. But anyway, you get the idea. Plenty of beer storage, because that's what you need. So the farm barn one is this one here. Now on the actual map itself, this is built into a hillside. So this is where you can collect your hay and straw when you've loaded it into the barn. Where you put it into the barn is up there. So this on the actual map itself was built into the hillside. So what I thought I'd do is, away from there, I'll come up onto the hillside and do a bit of landscaping and have a bit of a fiddle around with it. Here's the problem I have fallen into, is that you place it and then try and build the terrain up, and it will not let you build the terrain up any closer than probably about there. which leaves you short, so you can build the terrain up, you can smooth it, you can do whatever you need to get to the back of there, but it won't let you build it into the hillside. My initial thought was, because I've got this big kind of drop off here and here, was to try and place it. When you place it, it cuts a big chunk out of the hillside, and I just can't seem to get the landscaping to work up to it. So be warned, if you are going to download that and you want to give it a go on console, you may come into problems or issues with landscaping up against it. I know it sounds a bit harsh, but it kind of then renders that useless is the wrong word, but well, I suppose you can't use it. Yeah, so yeah, be warned, just be careful on that one. The next up then is the Farm Barn 2. Now this one here is a more decorative. Again, it's supposed to be built onto the hillside because you could bring bales in, you could put stuff like that in. Again, landscaping couldn't quite get that to work. Maybe it needs an update to allow the landscaping to come up closer, because I think it's probably got where the base comes out, it's kind of blocking it from landscaping up to it. Then we got Garage 1, not a bad size garage, textures are good and all that kind of thing. Nice wooden barn. Then we've got Farm Garage 2, just on the sides here. Now Farm Garage 3 is okay, it's a little bit smaller for putting stuff underneath, but it is raised off the floor a little bit, it's lifted. You can just see underneath there, it's not quite sat down on the base that comes with it. Then we've got Farm Garage, again these probably need landscaping up to. It says garage, I'm not quite sure what you put in it, but this one's on stilts. And then this one here, again, the entrance is a little bit off the ground, so you'd probably have to landscape up, but it's not allowing me to. So that's the Tyrolean Farm Buildings by Suedtirolerbauer. Yeah, I'm not sure whether that's going to get an update, or it just could be the whole, it's the console thing. It just could be the clipping distances, whether I don't know. But that I was struggling a little bit with that, so I just thought I would point that out. Right, moving on. Let's get on to. There was a couple of vehicles and stuff on the 18th. We'll go and have a look at those. So first up for those is this, the Fiat 6566 by Paolo 5090R. This is a tiny little tractor, 65 horsepower. It's very kind of plain slab-sided looking, but it's an old tractor, and that's what they look like. 65 horsepower is not too bad. Bearing in mind the well, we'll have a look in the store in a minute. The International that came out recently was only 45 horsepower. But what's great about this is the price. It is so cheap. So if you just want a little tractor on a small farm for, doing a little bit of work around the yard, it might be a little bit of light cultivating or something like that with a small cultivator or a small plough, this will do the job. I say, tidy little mod. There's a few options available. It's a little bit weird with the cab like that, but that's one of the options that's available on it, so we'll have a look at that. That's under tractors, small tractors, yeah, as you can imagine. If we scroll right the way across until we get to it. There we go. So the International 33 series is 29 grand and it's 45 horsepower. This one's 65 horsepower and it's 8,500. I don't think I've ever come across a cheaper tractor than that in game at all, or on console. I know on PC sometimes you can get like used and new and that kind of stuff, and we're getting a little bit of that with some of the mods we're getting now. But 8,500 for a 65 horsepower tractor, that's not too bad at all. Options available: configuration, we can have standard on the front, we can have it with a 175 kilogram front weight, a 325 kilogram front weight, 475, 575, and back to standard. As far as design goes, we can have standard design, we can have it with a beacon just on the back sort of fender part of the tractor there, or we can have it cabin type 1, which is kind of I suppose like a rollover thing, I guess, really, with a hazard or warning beacon on top. Or we can have cabin type 2, which is more like a sunshade cover on the top of that. It looks like a flat cap actually, doesn't it? A little bit. And then it goes back to standard again. We can have a front loader attacher on this. Does have a rear 3-point link, so you could put a weight on the back of that. So let's say you could do a bit of work around the yard and stuff. Cheapest chips tractor, low horsepower, rather cool. Wheel setup, we can have it as Lizard at the moment, which gives you a sort of slightly smoother tyre on the back. We can have it with a chunkier tyre on the back with the smooth on the front. Then we can have chunky on the back with slightly more tread on the front, and then we can have kind of chunky and chunky. So it depends what kind of thing you're going to be looking for, what style. You might not like it even at all, but like I say, if you're looking for a cheap tractor, you can't go wrong, I'll be totally honest with you. So Now, one thing I will say, it's quite loud. It's a cool little thing though, I'll be honest. And if you are running a small farm setup and you've got older machinery and small machinery, it's a nice little addition, isn't it? From in-cab, so to speak, that's what we got. Lights on and off. Indicators. And that's it. I mean, there's not much else to it. Like I say, nice view of the rear 3 points over hooking up, no problem at all. There you go. So there you go, that's the Fiat 6566 by Paolo 1590R. Next up, we've got the Joskin Betamax RDS 600. This is by Blacksheep Modding. It's a smaller version of the RDS 7500 that we've already got in game. And realistically, that's really the only difference. It's a little bit smaller, takes less animals. I did think, seeing all this cool stuff on the side, that maybe we'll get some of these gates opening and open at the back and that kind of stuff. It doesn't, but then the standard one doesn't either, to be fair. It's just another animal trailer, just a smaller version of the one we got already. I'll show you the options on it and then what it does as well. But this will be found under animal transports. Just here, so we've got the Betamax RDS 7500, which will take 6 cows, 9 pigs and 10 sheep. This one will take 4 cows, 7 pigs and 8 sheep, so a few less. It's a little bit cheaper as well, 15 grand. That is... oh, actually, yeah, the Fiat 6566 is 8 slots. This is 5 slots, which isn't too bad. The Tyrolean farm buildings were a mixture. The bigger buildings were 6 slots each and the smaller ones were 2. One of them was 3 slots, I think. Nothing major, nothing too scary on the slot count there. Options available? Nothing. You just get what you get. That's the trailer. And it takes the animals that it will take. It's a very nice, neat, tidy mod, as you come to expect from Blacksheep Modding. But we will use this, might as well, we've got it right here. So I'll try and... So we do have a beacon on the back. We can have cover open, and then for loading or unloading, L1 and X lowers the back down. So I thought the gates would open the back or something like that, but on console it doesn't. I don't know if it does on PC, but on console, whoop, it doesn't. Raise it back up, we can put the cover back on, beacon's off, and there you go. That's the RDS 6000 by Blacksheep Modding. We'll disconnect from that. And we'll hook up to the next one over here, which also came out on Friday the 18th. But so if you've already seen someone else's mod review or anything on these, I'm teaching Granite suck eggs, but I wanted to do a roundup because otherwise people say you didn't do a mod review, so I'm making sure I do get the mod review done. This is the Agroliner HKD 302 Old. This is by Gamer8250. This will use up 11 slots. It's another very nice, nicely detailed, lots of stuff on here. Tidy mod. 20, I think it's a 21,000 litre trailer for 20 grand, or it could be the other way around. There's a few options available on this. We can have a single grain door in the back or a triple grain door. It tips left, right, rear and grain door, and it also has a rear trailer hitch, so you can hook other ones up to it as well. Various different sizes or just other versions of this particular one. This will be found under trailers. There we go. Yeah, so it's 20,000 to buy with the capacity of 21,000 litres. It takes all those different crop types. Options available, we can change the main colour to any one of those. So if you want to have white on the actual boards themselves. Design colour changes the cover, the canopy, whatever you want to refer to it as. Have it with the grey on the top of it as well if you want. It does have that kind of like plasticky sheen. The texture on that's really good. It looks like it's a kind of plasticky top type cover on there. Options for... I don't know why it goes to the bottom when it does that. We can have Trelleborg and we can have that standard or wide. We can have lizards, standard. Let's say standard or standard, but it does go a little bit wider. And then I think we've got Michelin, yeah, and Michelin just comes in the wide on those, and then we're back to Trelleborg again. Then we've got design, and that changes the actual decal on the side of it. So we can have design 1, design 2, like so. And then reflectors, we can have it as it is now with the reflector strip on the bottom. We can have 2, which takes the reflectors off completely, or 3, which puts the strip on the bottom, and then little right-angled strips just up at the top as well. If I take that off, then on again, you just better see those flicking on and off. And then we've got the option on the back of a single grain door or a triple grain door, if that's what you want to go for. And there you go. That's the HKT 302 Old by Gamer8250. I was going to say I wasn't going to bother showing, but I suppose at the end of the day, why not? Cover open and closed, like so. If we tip, that's on tip side rear. That's tip side left. And we got tip side right. Hang on, no we haven't. That's weird, why didn't that change? There we go, tip side right. Handle moves. Somebody thought the handle didn't go in the right position. Wait for that to come back down. The handle will go back into place and I can change it again. So R1 and down, that should change to grain door. And we can have a triple grain door open on the back like so. Farm dog likes a triple grain door apparently. Fantastic, so that's the HKD 302 Old. And we are on to now, I think, pretty sure I've covered those, we're on to the mods for yesterday, Monday the 21st. So what we've got first up, we'll have a look here, we've got the Lady TICO XR75D. Now this we had on FS17, it was probably on earlier versions on PC, I can't remember if we had it on FS15 on console. When FS19 came out we had the Fent version of this, so this is the converted version back to kind of the original Lely version. This is by E.T.A. La Marchoise. I'm never quite sure if I say that correctly, I'm sorry if I don't, but it is for all intents and purposes identical to the Fent one. It's just the Lely version of it. Capacity is the same. I think the slot count's pretty much the same on this. This one's 5 slots. Well, we'll have a quick look in store, but again, nice, neat, tidy mod. This is a loading wagon for your forage type crops. This will pick up your grass and hay and straw and stuff off the ground with the pickup on the front here. If we go into the store and go across to loading wagons, you will see that as we go across we've got the Lely, the Fent TICO XR75D, 124,000 to buy, 42,000 litre capacity, 6 slots. And we go across to this version, 124,000 to buy, 42,000 litre capacity, and this one, actually this one's 5 slots, so it's 1 slot less. So realistically it comes down to whether or not you want the old Lady version or the Fent version. It'll be a personal preference because they are, for all intents and purposes, the same trailer. I mean, at the end of the day, that's just is what it is. Options available, we can have Trelleborg standard, we can have Michelin standard or wide. I think that's the only 2 options. Yeah, there's not a lizard option on that. There we go. Sorry if I'm whizzing through. I'm trying to whiz through anyway because there's quite a few to do. But anyway, that's the Lely TICO XR75D by E.T.A. La Marchoise. So next up we've got this. This is the Einbock Aerostar Exact 600. I was going to say 6,000 then. We've got the Aerostar rotation in game. There's the one that does a little bit of seeding as well. Then we've got a 9 and a 12 metre one. This is a 6 metre weeder. The weeders, if you've got weeds running, will only weed in the first growth stage of weeds. If they get into the older second growth stage of weeds, then you need to use herbicide. And that's its job. It's a weeder and it folds up. We'll just go and grab the little tractor again. Just showed that. So there you go. Fold that up. And unfold. Nice, neat, smooth animation. That will do your weeding. Now I don't know if this is one that, if you do it over grass normally, whether it will give you a fertiliser. I don't think it's like the Scaraflex or anything like that does that. I think it is just, in essence, it is just a weeder, as far as I'm aware. So this will be found under weeders. So we've got the pneumatic star, which is the 9 metre. We've got the Aerostar Rotation 1200, which is a 12 metre. This is the modded one, and it is the Aerostar Exact 600. Now that one, yeah, the Scariflex is one that will do fertilising as well. I think the Chain Harrow does give you one of those stages too. But anyway, it may well do. I haven't actually tried it. As far as I know, it's just a weeder, but I could be wrong on that one. I do apologise if I am. So there you go. That's that. Which brings us on to the last of the mods, I think. Pretty sure. Like so, I'm trying to get through them. And this is the IT runner for silos. And this was the one that really caught my eye, and I think probably has done for most people. It's something, I'll say, beyond a little bit different. It's, wow, this is a really interesting one. We have an IT runner for silos, IT runner bed. Now this won't hook up to other IT runner containers. This will only work for the silos, this one. And the silos are a little bit peculiar. It took a little bit of working out on this, I'll be totally honest with you. We'll have a look in the store first. The actual IT runner for silos is under trailers. So we've got the IT runner 2633 HD, which was a mod. This is the HD 23, the 2633 HD for silos, and it is specific for that. We do have the option, we can have Trelleborg, Michelin, and we can change the main colour if we want to whatever you want your base of it to be, depending on what vehicles you're running and if you're trying to match a colour scheme or something like that. Now the silos was a bit of a weird one, and I thought straight away, I thought, well, it's going to be in silos, isn't it? I mean, that's obviously where they're going to be. And nope, I had a look through silos, couldn't find them. I started to panic a little bit. They're under big bags, and there's a reason why they're under big bags. It's a bit of an unusual one, this. So we scroll across, and we've got 25,000 litre silos. So we've got this one here, and it's a container, it's a silo. They can be lifted up, taken wherever you want, and put wherever you want. I think as long as you own the land. Although that said, I did try and put it on one of the fields I don't own. It still let me put it down. So you can transport them anywhere you want around the map and place them. Now, the first silo will take all of those crop types, and it's only 10,000. The next ones are 20,000 each, and they'll hold 25,000 litres as well, but they are specific to each individual thing. So that one will take chicken feed, which will be your wheat. That one will take solid fertiliser. Then you've got silo for horses, which will do oats. We've got lime one, there's a pig food one, there's a seed one, and then we're onto the big bags, which isn't part of that. But so yeah, they're a bit peculiar. So I was trying to work out, you know, how do they work? Well, what we'll do, I will show you. That's kind of the point, isn't it? You may already know, you may not, I don't know. So we open up our IT runner like you would do normally, and whereas normally it would flip over the top to hook onto a trailer behind it to hook up, that's why this you can't use with those, because that's where it stops. So this will not work on other trailers. So when we back up, we've got the hook on the top of the silo. So I'm hooking up to an oat one. No, I'm not. Wheat one. I went for a chicken one on this, didn't I? Yes, it's a chicken on the side, not a horse. So we hook it up, and then we can... Now it says at the bottom already, it says 25,000 litres wheat. So this then, in essence, is not a silo you will fill up. It's like a massive seed bag, a massive big bag, a massive pallet. So rather than taking pallets 1,000 litres at a time, 2,000 litres at a time, you can come and buy one of these for 20 grand, and it comes pre-loaded with 25,000 litres of whichever product you've chosen to go in it. So I'll tip it up, onto the back it goes, and then off you go to your farm, field, wherever you are, and put it down. So you haven't got to go backwards and forwards with lots of runs. You haven't got to be at the store getting 25 separate pallets which you've then got to load into a trailer. You can just take it on this. That said, obviously the flatbed, the actual silo trailer itself, is 55 grand, but if you're going to be doing this a lot, it kind of makes it worth its while. So yeah, that's a 25,000 litre big bag in essence. I'll show you kind of what I mean with that in a minute. Now the weird thing is the one next to it is the standard silo, which is 10,000 to buy. Again, it's a 25,000 litre capacity. Let's just pop that back up into its position. It will dangle a little bit. The animations on it are great. I love the way it's done. So it kind of leaves that swaying a little bit in the air. Switch onto the back and unload that. Right, so that's unloaded. Let's hook up to the other one. because this is what threw me a little bit. I was a little bit puzzled by this, because I thought, oh brilliant, silo, that's cheap, you can put anything in it, so, you know, let's go for it. Let's hook it up. When you hook it up, at the bottom it says 0. There's nothing in it, it's empty. Because it can take anything, it has to come empty. Now, if I drive past this seed pallet just here, with it off the back like that, and this is what I just wanted to show you very quickly. If I open up my help menu, like so, it there says L3 refill container. So I can refill this from pallets. I could bring pallets to it, I could do whatever. So in essence, you could place this on your farm and have it as a seed refill or a fertilizer refill or whatever you want it to be, or just storage. But you have to have it hooked up to this IT runner back for that to work. Because if I disconnect it now, like so, there's no way to get the seed then from the pallet. I thought automatically, if you put a pallet down next to it, it will automatically take it. It doesn't. It needs to be hooked up to this if you are going to load it up. So it's a bit of an odd one. It threw me a little bit. So what we'll do, we'll load it onto the back, and I'll also show you what I mean with the edge by anything silo. If we drive up next to that, so then we can fill it with whatever we want then. If you want to. Why? I'm puzzled as to why you would want to fill it with a crop type. That seems a bit odd to me. You would fill it with a crop type and then take it off and put it somewhere, unless you're doing barley or wheat, which you can feed your chickens, or oats. So again, rather than buying the separate ones, you could buy this one. And I suppose the thing about that then becomes that when it is empty, it stays there. You can hook up to this and refill it again and again and again with whatever you want. You could move it around your farm to wherever you want to take it to. So it's kind of it's a very useful tool. Now, here's the thing with these ones, the ones that come pre-filled. So let's just turn that off, and I shall show you why it's like a big bag. Now, I don't know if this needs an update or something, I'm not too sure, but when you go straight under it, I suppose like the big bags do, it automatically starts filling. Now if I press L3, it will fill quicker. It's weird, on the menu it says stop refilling. If you stop refilling, it is still refilling but slower. If I press refill tipper with L3, it just speeds up that process. Now what will happen is, when that tank empties all 25,000 litres, the tank disappears. Like the pallets do, like the big bags do, it will vanish, just gone. Because you've emptied it, you've used everything that was in it, in essence like a big bag or a pallet, and it goes. Whereas the other one that you buy for 10,000 doesn't. When that's empty, that will sit empty. So that one in essence is a reusable over and over again. You could refill with stuff, but again you've got to be hooked up to the IT runner trailer for that to work. Whereas these ones don't. Because I did wonder whether or not they would empty and then you could refill them. You can't. It is like a pallet or a big bag. Just bear with me just a second and we'll fill up the trailer and you will see. And there you go. When the 25,000 litres has come out of it, it disappears like the pallets or big bag. I know I said it did, but you know, just a visual kind of, just to back up what I'm saying, a visual representation of what I was just talking about. And then if I wanted to, if I was transferring these around, I could pull this up alongside. I think this should work. This should work. I apologise if I've just crushed somebody with the... If I put up alongside the trailer... No, it won't do it from the trailer. Now that's interesting. Oh, hang on. Ah, now that is interesting. I'm glad I checked that, because I thought you could do it from a trailer. You can't. Which means you can only refill this then using pallets of various different things, or from one of the multi-grain silos. It won't do it from a trailer. Okay, well there you go. I learned something on that. I just suddenly thought I hadn't prepped to do that, but it kind of just popped into my head and I thought I'd try it, and it won't. Ah, okay then. There you go, live and learn, don't you? So before we finish, and that is the last of the mods from the 18th and the 21st, which was yesterday on Monday, something that happened in the recent update, and thank you very much to Quahom Toblat for mentioning this to me, because I hadn't even noticed. If you go into... Oh, it's in the Modhub, isn't it? Of course it is. but I can mention it anyway. If you go into the Modhub now on console, when things have got change logs, and I often say if there's been an update, you need to go onto the website, Farming Simulator website, and check out the change logs. On console now, as of the last update, you can now scroll through the change logs. So on the PlayStation 4 Modhub itself, if there's been change logs and you get down to the bottom of the list, and whereas before we couldn't scroll further down and see what all the change logs were, you can now. You can scroll down in that menu to have a look at what all the change logs are. So thank you very much, Quaham Toblat, for that. I apologise if I pronounced your name wrong. And that's it. That's the mods. Like I say, quite a few to get around. This one's an interesting one. It's going to take a bit of fiddling around with, I think, to kind of get your head around it fully. Well, this one particularly. The rest of them, it's just a massive, big bag, really, isn't it? I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape, or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.